The day my sister stole my wedding, I learned that betrayal wears white lace and carries pink peonies. I watched from behind a column as Clara floated down the aisle in my dress, towards my fiancé, surrounded by my flowers, my decorations, my dreams. My name is Sadie, and I used to believe in fairy tales. Now I plan them for other people, turning their Pinterest boards into reality with a smile that never quite reaches my eyes. Funny how trauma becomes a career path. Another satisfied bride, Brinley says, handing me a glass of champagne as we watch our latest couple drive away from their perfect reception. You've got the magic touch, Sadie. I take a sip, savoring the bittersweet bubbles. Magic? No, just intimate knowledge of what can go wrong when you trust the wrong people. My phone buzzes. Clara's name flashes across the screen, the first contact in 8 years. I silence it, but it buzzes again, and again. Persistent little snake, isn't she? Brinley peers at my phone. You going to answer? Why should I? The champagne turns sour in my mouth. 8 years of silence and now she needs something. Classic Clara. The voicemail notification pops up. Against my better judgment, I listen. Sadie, please. Clara's voice cracks. I know I don't deserve your help, but everything's falling apart. The business, the house, my marriage. I need you. Please come home. There are things you don't know about that day. I delete the message, but her words echo in my head. Home. That small coastal town where my mother still makes excuses for Clara's behavior, where gossip travels faster than light, where I left my wedding dress crumpled on the church floor. You're not actually considering it, are you? Brinley's eyes narrow. Of course not. I scroll through my calendar, packed with upcoming weddings. I'm booked solid for months. But you're thinking about it. I know that look. She's right. I'm thinking about the way Clara smiled at me that morning, helping with my makeup, asking to try on my dress just once while I was in the shower. How she disappeared with it. How my mother said nothing when Clara emerged in the church wearing it instead of her bridesmaid's dress. My phone buzzes again. This time, it's a text with a photo attached. A teenage girl with Clara's golden hair, and my green eyes stares back at me. The caption reads, "This is London, your niece. She needs you too." Damn, Brinley whispers, reading over my shoulder. She fights dirty. Another text follows. There's more at stake than you know. Marco's father is threatening to expose everything. Please, just come talk. I pour myself another glass of champagne. You know what the worst part was? Not the dress, not even Marco. It was how everyone acted like it was normal, like I was overreacting by leaving. So, go back, Brinley says simply. Go back and show them exactly who you've become. I look around the elegant venue, at the crystal chandeliers and silk draperies I selected, at the perfectly executed details that have made me one of the most sought-after wedding planners in the city. Every wedding I plan is a small revenge against that day. Every happy bride, a reminder of what was stolen from me. Clara mentioned a vow renewal ceremony in her message, I say slowly, begging me to help plan it. Brinley's eyes light up with understanding. Oh, now that would be poetic. My phone buzzes one final time. A text from my mother. Your sister needs you. Family should come first. I laugh, a sharp sound that echoes in the empty venue. Family first? Where was that sentiment 8 years ago? But I'm already pulling up flights on my phone, already imagining the possibilities. Clara wants help planning her vow renewal. Fine. I'll give her the ceremony she deserves, one that will make my stolen wedding look like a backyard barbecue. You're going, aren't you? Brinley sighs. Want me to come with? I shake my head. No, this is something I need to do alone. Besides, someone needs to handle the Watson wedding next week. Just promise me one thing, she says, gripping my arm. Don't let them hurt you again. I smile, thinking of the empire I've built from the ashes of that day. Oh, don't worry. I'm not the same naive girl who left that church in tears. Clara wants my help? She'll get it. Every elaborate, expensive, exquisitely planned detail of it. I book the flight for tomorrow morning, then send Clara a brief text. Coming home, we'll talk about the vow renewal. Her response is immediate. Thank you, thank you. You won't regret this. But she might. Because while Clara may have stolen my wedding day, I've spent 8 years becoming an expert in perfect ceremonies. And this time, I'll be the one writing the script. I raise my glass to the empty venue. Here's to family reunions. Brinley clinks her glass against mine. And to Karma finally coming home to roost. The mansion looks exactly like Clara. Beautiful on the outside, crumbling within. Paint peels from the colonial columns, and weeds push through the once pristine garden paths. 8 years ago, this was the crown jewel of Harbour Street. Now it's just another reminder that everything has a shelf life, even perfection. Ms. Sadie. A teenage girl appears on the wraparound porch, clutching a sketchbook. London. She's taller in person, with that same graceful posture Clara used to practice in front of mirrors. Mum's inside. She's been crying all morning. Good. The word slips out before I can stop it. London's eyes widen slightly and I force a smile. I mean, good that I caught her at home. The interior is worse than the exterior. Designer furniture sits draped in dust covers, and there's a stillness that speaks of unpaid utility bills. My heels click against marble floors as London leads me to the sunroom. Sadie. Clara rises from a faded chaise lounge, arms outstretched like we're in some Tennessee Williams play. You came. I dodge her embrace. Let's skip the performance. You said something about Marco's father threatening exposures? Clara's face crumples. She looks older than 30, worry lines etched around her mouth. Dustin knows things. About the business. About that day. He's threatening to go public unless we agree to sell him our shares at a fraction of their worth. Fascinating. I examine my manicure. And this concerns me because some of those things involve you. Clara glances at London. Honey, could you give us a minute? No. London's voice is quiet but firm. I'm tired of being sent away every time adults need to talk about important things. I hide a smile. Let her stay. Sounds like she's earned the right to know what kind of family she's dealing with. Clara sinks back onto the chairs. Marco's business is failing. We've been covering it up, using creative accounting. You mean fraud? Call it what you want. Clara's fingers twist in her lap. But Dustin found out. He's threatening to expose everything unless we sell him our majority shares. We'd lose everything, the house, our reputation. Still waiting to hear how this involves me. Because, Clara's voice drops, because the initial investment that started everything, it came from your wedding fund. The room goes very still. London's pencil stops scratching against her sketchbook. What did you say? My voice sounds distant, even to my own ears. Mom used your wedding money to help Marco start his business. That's why she didn't stop me that day. She knew Marco needed someone who understood the situation, who could help manage things. Someone more manipulative than me, you mean? The laugh that escapes me doesn't sound entirely sane. So, not only did you steal my wedding, but you and Mum conspired to steal my future. I can explain. Save it. I turn to London, who's watching us with eyes too old for her face. How do you stand it here? She shrugs, a gesture so familiar it hurts. I draw. I plan my escape. Same as you did, I guess. Clara makes a choked sound. London! What? It's true. London flips her sketchbook around, showing detailed drawings of wedding dresses. I follow your work online, Aunt Sadie. You're kind of my hero. Something shifts in my chest, a crack in the armor I've spent 8 years building. You design dresses. She should be focusing on practical things, Clara interrupts. Like her college applications. Like accounting, I snap, or creative fraud. London's lips twitch. I applied to fashion design programs. Mum doesn't know yet. Enough, Clara stands. Sadie, please, I'm asking for your help with the vow renewal. Make it spectacular. Something to remind everyone of our position here. I'll pay whatever you ask. I look around the dusty room, at the covered furniture and wilting plants. With what money, Clara? We still have some investments. You mean what's left of my wedding fund? The words taste like ashes. Fine, I'll do it. Clara's relief is palpable. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I turn to London. Show me more of your designs. As London eagerly flips through her sketchbook, I catch a glimpse of myself in a tarnished mirror. 8 years ago, I was the one sketching dreams in secret, planning escapes from suffocating expectations. My phone buzzes, a text from Brinley. How's Karma treating the princess? I type back, better than expected, found an ally. London points to a particularly elegant design. This one's inspired by your Sydney wedding last spring. The way you incorporated the opera house architecture into the train. You've got a good eye. I glance at Clara, who's watching us with poorly concealed anxiety. Tell me, London, how do you feel about helping me plan your mother's vow renewal? Clara's face brightens. That's a wonderful idea. I wasn't asking you. I keep my eyes on London. What do you say? Want to learn how to turn dreams into reality? London's smile is slow and just a little wicked. When do we start? Behind us, Clara shifts nervously, and I remember something my mother used to say. Karma comes for everyone eventually. She just didn't specify who gets to play delivery service. Your mother's social circle has completely disintegrated, Margaret, the local florist, tells me over coffee. Last month's charity gala. Clara wasn't even invited. Can you imagine? I can, actually. I'm counting on it. How many guests for the vow renewal? I ask, jotting notes in my planner. Oh, honey. Margaret leans forward, her bangles jingling. Nobody's RSVP'd yet. Word is, they're waiting to see if Clara can actually pull this off. Perfect. I close my planner with a snap. Well, they're in for a surprise. I'm thinking cascading orchids, crystal installations, customized sculptures. Can they afford all that? I'm offering a family discount. I smile, thinking of the astronomical bill I'm preparing. Speaking of family, how's your daughter Katie? Wasn't she Clara's best friend? Margaret's face darkens. Was is right. Katie hasn't spoken to Clara since she discovered Clara had been spreading rumors about Katie's husband. Nasty business. I make a mental note to add Katie to the guest list. Nothing like an angry ex-best friend to spice up a party. The bell above the shop door chimes, and Marco walks in. He stops short when he sees me, his once handsome face now lined with stress. Sadie. He shifts uncomfortably. I didn't expect to see the woman whose wedding you stole. Life's full of surprises. Margaret suddenly finds her inventory fascinating, disappearing into the back room. Listen. Marco steps closer, lowering his voice. About the vow renewal. Clara's not telling you everything. Shocking. I'm serious. He glances around nervously. My father, he's not just threatening to expose the business fraud. There's more. There always is with Clara. No, you don't understand. That day, your wedding day, the shop door chimes again. London bursts in, her cheeks flushed. Aunt Sadie, I've been looking everywhere for you. Mum's having a meltdown about the guest list. Marco straightens, his confession forgotten. London, you should be at your piano lesson. Already finished? London pulls out her sketchbook. Actually, I was hoping to show Aunt Sadie my ideas for the table settings. You should focus on your studies, Marco says sharply. This wedding planning nonsense is a valuable learning experience, I interrupt. Besides, London has quite a talent for design. You should be proud. Marco's face reddens. Stay out of this, Sadie. She's not your daughter. No, thank God for that. I gather my things. Come on, London. Let's go deal with your mother's meltdown. Outside, London's shoulders slump. I didn't really finish my piano lesson. I just couldn't stand another hour of scales. I know. I link my arm through hers. But sometimes the best revenge is living well. Show me those table-setting designs. We settle on a nearby bench, and London flips open her sketchbook. Her designs are impressive, modern, elegant, with just a hint of edge. Mum wants everything exactly like her first wedding, London says. But I was thinking, What if we did something completely different? Something that makes a statement. I study her sketches. Black roses mixed with white shattered mirror centerpieces, place cards written in reverse. You're not just talking about table settings, are you? London meets my eyes. Mum thinks this vow renewal will fix everything, but maybe some things need to stay broken. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. An unknown number. The text reads, "Stop now. You don't know what you're getting into." "What's wrong?" London asks. I show her the text. Looks like someone's nervous about our plans. Probably Grandpa Dustin. He's been watching the house, you know. Sometimes he sits in his car across the street for hours. I make a mental note to look deeper into Dustin's involvement. "Tell me more about your grandfather." London's expression clouds. He's intense, always talking about family legacy and keeping up appearances. Last week, I heard him threatening Mom about some documents in his safe. What kind of documents? I don't know, but Mom was crying afterward. Not her usual dramatic crying, real tears. I think about Marco's attempted confession in the flower shop, about Dustin's threats, about documents in safes. The puzzle pieces are there, but they're not fitting together quite right. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Clara. "Where are you? We need to discuss the guest list now." "Ready to face the dragon?" I ask London. She grins. "Only if we can show her my black rose concept." "Oh, we'll show her more than that." I stand, brushing off my skirt. "How about we talk about those fashion school applications too?" London's eyes widen. "Mum will lose it." "Probably, but sometimes losing it is exactly what people need to do." As we walk back to the mansion, I can't shake the feeling that I'm missing something crucial. Marco's unfinished warning, Dustin's threats, Clara's real tears. There's a story here that goes deeper than stolen weddings and business fraud. But for now, I have a vow renewal to plan. And if my niece wants to help me turn it into a masterpiece of subtle revenge, well, that's just karma working in mysterious ways. "Black roses." Clara's voice rises an octave. "Have you lost your mind, Sadie? This is a vow renewal, not a Gothic funeral." We're in the mansion's dining room, surrounded by London's sketches and my elaborate plans. The chandelier above us flickers. Another unpaid bill warning. "Actually," London pipes up, "the black roses were my idea." Clara freezes. "You're encouraging this?" She rounds on me. "First you fill her head with fashion school nonsense, now this. Fashion school?" Marco appears in the doorway, his face stormy. "London, we discussed this. You're going to business school." "No, you discussed it." London's voice trembles but holds firm. "I never agreed." I step between them. The roses are staying. And since I'm doing this at a discount, I get final say on design elements. "Some discount," Marco mutters. "Your invoice is astronomical." Consider it 8 years of accumulated interest. A door slams somewhere in the house, followed by heavy footsteps. Dustin enters, his presence filling the room like smoke. "Family meeting without me?" His smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Sadie, you're looking successful." "Dustin," I match his tone. "Still hiding documents in safes." The room goes quiet. Clara's face drains of color. "London," Dustin says pleasantly, "why don't you go practice your piano?" She stays. I put a hand on London's shoulder, since she's helping with the planning. Dustin's eyes narrow. "Clara, control your sister." "That ship sailed 8 years ago," I say sweetly, along with my wedding fund. "Careful, Sadie." Dustin steps closer. "You might not like what you find if you dig too deep." "Is that a threat?" "Dad, please." Marco moves between us. "This isn't the time." "No?" Dustin pulls an envelope from his jacket. "Then when should we discuss these photos?" Clara makes a small, choked sound. I catch a glimpse of what looks like security camera stills before she snatches the envelope. "London, go to your room," Clara whispers. "Now." This time, London doesn't argue. She squeezes my hand before leaving, her sketchbook clutched to her chest. "Whatever game you're playing, Sadie," Dustin says once she's gone, Remember that some secrets are better left buried. Like whatever's in that safe of yours. His smile turns cruel. You always were the smarter sister. Pity you weren't the prettier one. He leaves and Clara crumples into a chair, the envelope trembling in her hands. Want to tell me what that was about? I ask. No. Clara stands abruptly. The roses can stay, just make everything perfect, please. She hurries out, Marco following after shooting me a warning look. I'm left alone in the dining room, surrounded by plans for a celebration that's feeling more like a wake. My phone buzzes. Another text from the unknown number. Last warning, walk away or everyone loses. I'm about to delete it when I hear music from upstairs. Not piano scales, but something darker, all minor chords and raw emotion. Following the sound, I find London's door ajar. She's at her keyboard, hands moving with a grace that reminds me of her sketches. The music stops when she sees me. Mum hates when I play my own compositions. Play it again. I sit beside her. It's beautiful. She hesitates, then starts over. The melody speaks of locked doors and hidden photos, of dreams stuffed into sketchbooks and secrets in safes. I found something, she says quietly, still playing. In Dad's study last night, letters between Mum and Grandpa Dustin from before your wedding. They mentioned a contract. My heart skips. What kind of contract? I couldn't read much before Dad came in, but... Her fingers falter on the keys. Your name was on it, and there was a lot of money involved. The pieces start shifting, forming a new pattern. London, I need you to do something for me. She stops playing. Break into Grandpa's safe? God, no. I laugh despite myself. I need you to keep being exactly who you are. Someone who sees the truth behind the pretty facades. Like those black roses, beautiful but with an edge? Exactly. I pull out my phone, typing quickly to Brinley. Need you to dig into any contracts between Clara and Dustin from 8 years ago. You're not really planning a vow renewal, are you? London asks. I think of Dustin's threats, Clara's tears, the contract with my name on it. Oh, I'm planning something, but renewal might not be the right word. My phone buzzes with Brinley's response. On it. But Sadie, be careful. Rich men with secrets are dangerous men. London starts playing again, her dark melody filling the room. Outside, I spot Dustin's car idling across the street, watching, waiting. Let him watch. He's not the only one with secrets anymore. Keep practicing, I tell London, both the music and the designs. Sometimes the most powerful statements are the ones we make through art. She nods, understanding the real message. Keep your eyes open, keep gathering information, keep being brave enough to play your own dark melodies. The game is changing, but I'm starting to think revenge might not be the prize I should be playing for. Your mother sold you out for a country club membership. Brinley's voice crackles through my phone. And that's just the beginning. I sit in my hotel room, staring at the documents she's sent. Explain. The contract was part of a larger deal. Dustin needed a wife for Marco, someone who could handle the social aspects of the business. Your mother recommended Clara, but there was a catch. Me. You were already engaged to Marco. The contract stipulated that Clara would handle that situation. In exchange, your mother got social connections, club memberships, investment opportunities. My hand tightens around the phone. She traded my happiness for social status. And Clara got everything she wanted, the perfect husband, the perfect life, until it all started falling apart. I laugh bitterly. No wonder she's desperate for this vow renewal. It's her last chance to maintain the illusion. A knock at my door interrupts us. Hold on. It's London, clutching her sketchbook like a shield. Can I come in? Mum and Dad are fighting again. I wave her in, putting Brinley on speaker. Perfect timing. We were just discussing family history. London, Brinley's voice softens. How are you holding up, honey? I found more letters, London says, settling on the bed. In Mom's vanity drawer. They're from Grandma Hope, talking about some kind of arrangement. Your grandmother's always been good at arrangements, I say, especially when they benefit her. There's more. London opens her sketchbook, pulling out folded papers. Dad's been meeting with lawyers. I heard him telling Mom they could lose everything unless… Unless what? Unless they can prove the original contract was fraudulent. London's voice shakes. But Grandpa Dustin has evidence. Photos, recordings, something big enough to destroy everyone involved. My phone buzzes with a text. Unknown number again. Check your email. Time you saw the truth. I open my laptop, click the new message. A video starts playing. Security footage from 8 years ago. I recognize the country club's private dining room. Oh my God, I whisper. There's my mother, sitting with Dustin and Clara, all three bent over papers. Money changes hands. Clara signs something, then my mother. Dustin raises a glass in toast. The day before my wedding. What is it? London moves closer. I slam the laptop shut. Evidence that some families deserve to implode. Another knock, harder this time. Clara bursts in without waiting for an answer. London, I've been looking everywhere. She stops, seeing the papers spread across the bed. What's this? Just some wedding plans, I say smoothly. London has wonderful ideas about the ceremony. Don't lie to me. Clara snatches up a letter. Her face goes pale. Where did you get these? Maybe you should ask Mom, I stand. Or should I say, your business partner? You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You and Mom sold me out for social status and investment opportunities. The only thing I don't understand is why you're surprised it's all falling apart. Mom? London's voice is small. Is this true? Clara crumples the letter in her fist. I did what I had to do. For all of us. For yourself, I correct. And now Karma's coming to collect. You think you're so perfect? Clara's voice rises. You have no idea what it was like living in your shadow. The brilliant older sister, the responsible one, the one everyone trusted. I took what I deserved. And how's that working out for you? London stands abruptly. I can't. I need to. She runs from the room. Clara moves to follow, but I block her path. Let her go. She needs time to process that her mother is exactly who she feared she was. Don't you dare judge me. Clara's eyes fill with tears. You got your revenge, didn't you? Built your perfect life while mine falls apart. Your life is falling apart because you built it on lies. And now Dustin's going to expose everything unless you give him what he wants. He wants the company. Total control. Clara sinks onto the bed. But if that happens, Marco will lose everything. London will lose everything. London's stronger than you think. Unlike you, she's willing to build her own life instead of stealing someone else's. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Brinley. Found something big. Call me ASAP. Get out of my room, Clara. I have work to do. The vow renewal. We'll proceed as planned. Don't worry. I'll make it a day no one will ever forget. After she leaves, I call Brinley back. What did you find? You're not going to believe this, she says. But that contract, it wasn't just about your wedding. There's a clause about inheritance, about controlling interests in multiple companies. Your mother and Clara, they were just pawns in Dustin's bigger game. I look out the window at the mansion across the street, where London's silhouette shows in her bedroom window. She's at her keyboard again, and even from here, I can imagine the dark melody she's playing. Send me everything, I say. It's time to change the game. The day before the vow renewal, I find London waiting outside my hotel room, a packed bag at her feet. I'm not going back, she announces. I applied for early admission to design school, got in, full scholarship. I usher her inside. Does your mother know? Left her a note. Dad too. She pulls out an envelope. And I found these in Grandpa's study. He really should change his safe combination from Mum's birthday. The envelope contains photos. Not the ones Dustin threatened us with, but others. Financial documents, offshore account numbers, evidence of years of systematic fraud. London, this is dangerous stuff. I know. She lifts her chin. That's why I made copies. Lots of copies. My phone rings. Clara, of course. I put it on speaker. Where is she? Clara's voice is frantic. London's gone. Her room's empty. I'm here, Mum. London's voice is steady. And I'm not coming back. Don't be ridiculous. The vow renewal is tomorrow. Your father needs us. Dad needs to face consequences, London cuts in. Just like you and Grandpa Dustin. Clara's breath catches. What are you talking about? I know everything. The contract, the fraud, how you and Grandma sold out Aunt Sadie. I have proof. Silence stretches across the line. Then, put your aunt on. I take the phone. She's staying with me. You planned this, didn't you? Turn my daughter against me. You did that yourself. I look at London, seeing my own past reflected in her determination. The vow renewal starts at 4. Don't be late. I hang up as someone knocks. It's Marco looking haunted. Is she here? London? Dad? London steps back. Don't try to stop me. I'm not. He enters, closing the door. I came to warn you both. My father. He's planning something for tomorrow, something big. We know about the contracts, I say. The fraud, the offshore accounts. No, it's worse. Marco runs a hand through his greying hair. He's going to announce a merger during the ceremony, one that will bankrupt Clara and me, leave us with nothing. He's been planning it for months, like Clara planned to steal my wedding. The words come out sharper than intended. That wasn't entirely her fault. Marco won't meet my eyes. My father, he has ways of making people do what he wants. Threats, blackmail, whatever it takes. And you just went along with it. London's voice cracks. Let him control everything. I was a coward, Marco admits. Still am, maybe. But tomorrow everything changes. My phone buzzes, Brinley. All set for tomorrow, team in place. Good, I text back. Time for the final act. London picks up her bag. I should go. My bus leaves in an hour. Wait. Marco pulls out his wallet, hands her a thick envelope. Your college fund. I've been saving it separately, where Dad couldn't touch it. London stares at the envelope. You knew? I've seen your designs. They're beautiful. He swallows hard. I'm sorry I didn't say it before. She hugs him. Brief but real. Come to my first show. Wouldn't miss it. After London leaves for the bus station, Marco turns to me. What are you planning for tomorrow? A vow renewal. I smile. Just not the kind Clara's expecting. She'll be destroyed. No, she won't. But Dustin. He might be. Marco nods slowly. Good, just be careful. My father doesn't lose gracefully. After he leaves, I start laying out tomorrow's clothes. A black dress, elegant but severe. My phone buzzes one last time. Unknown number. Call it off or the photos go public. I text back, release them. I'm done being afraid of the past. The response comes quickly. Your funeral. No, I type. Your empire's. I look out at the setting sun, thinking of London on her bus to freedom, of Clara in her crumbling mansion, of Dustin plotting in his study. Tomorrow, everyone's masks will fall. My phone rings. Brinley again. You sure about this? She asks. Once we start, there's no going back. I think of that day, 8 years ago, watching Clara walk down the aisle in my dress. How I ran away, letting them win. I'm sure. Is everything ready? All set. The press will be there, disguised as guests. The financial authorities are standing by. Even got that reporter you mentioned, the one who specializes in corporate fraud exposés. Perfect. I smooth my black dress. Time to show them what happens when you underestimate the wrong sister. London get off okay? Yeah. I smile, thinking of her fierce determination. She's going to be amazing. Like her aunt, Brinley says softly. Get some sleep, Sadie. Tomorrow's going to be one hell of a show. I hang up and start going through my checklist one final time. Black roses, check. Press in place, check. Evidence ready, check. Tomorrow, Clara will get her vow renewal. But the only vows being renewed will be the ones I make to myself. Never again will I let anyone steal my power, my voice, my truth. Let Dustin release those photos. Some secrets need to see the light of day. The black roses look stunning against the white tablecloths. Clara stands at the entrance of the country club ballroom, her face a mask of controlled panic as guests file in. "Where's London?" she hisses as I adjust her veil. "Safe." I smooth a non-existent wrinkle, which is more than I can say for what's coming. "What have you done?" "Me?" I step back to admire my work. "I just planned a vow renewal. Everything else, that's all karma, sister dear." Dustin appears, looking smugger than usual in his expensive suit. Quite a turnout, though I notice the press seems particularly interested. Funny how fraud and corruption make such compelling headlines. I check my watch. 5 minutes till showtime. Clara grabs my arm. "Please, whatever you're planning." "Too late." I nod toward the entrance where federal agents are quietly taking positions. Much too late. The music starts, not the traditional wedding march Clara requested, but London's composition. Dark, haunting notes fill the room as Marco takes his place at the altar. "What is this music?" Dustin demands. "Your granddaughter's gift to her mother. Shame you never bothered to listen to her play." Clara starts her walk down the aisle, each step heavy with dread. The guests murmur, some in appreciation of her dress, others noticing the federal agent's subtle presence. I take my place at the podium. Yes, I'm officiating. Clara was too afraid to say no when I suggested it. "We're gathered here today," I begin, my voice carrying clearly through the room, "to witness not just a renewal of vows, but a revelation of truths." Dustin shifts uncomfortably. Several cameras click. 8 years ago, a wedding took place. Not the one that was planned, but one orchestrated through manipulation, fraud, and betrayal. I smile directly at my mother, who sits ashen-faced in the front row. "Today, we're here to set things right." "Stop this," Clara whispers. "No." I turn to the assembled guests. "You all came expecting a celebration of love. Instead, you're witnessing the end of an empire built on lies." Dustin stands. "That's enough. Sit down, Dad." Marco's voice rings out. He pulls papers from his jacket. "The federal agents have everything. The fraud, the blackmail, the offshore accounts. It's over." The room erupts in chaos. Cameras flash as agents move in. My mother tries to leave, but finds her path blocked. "You can't do this," Dustin snarls, reaching into his jacket. "Looking for these?" I hold up the photos he'd been threatening us with. "Go ahead, release them. Show everyone how you orchestrated my wedding's destruction. Show them the contract you made my mother and sister sign. Show them everything." Clara steps forward. "I have something to say." The room quiets. Even the agents pause. "I'm sorry, Sadie." Her voice breaks. "I was weak, scared. Dad threatened to ruin us if I didn't go along with his plan. But that's no excuse. I stole your wedding, your future, your trust. And for what? A life built on lies? Keep going," I say softly. "I've lost everything that matters. My daughter's respect, my integrity, my self-worth." She turns to the guests. "You all thought we were perfect. The perfect family, the perfect life. But it was all a fraud, as fake as this vow renewal." Dustin lunges for her but is quickly restrained by agents. "You ungrateful," he starts. "No, Dad." Marco moves to stand beside Clara. "You don't get to call anyone ungrateful. You used us all like pawns. But games end, empires fall." My phone buzzes. A text from London. "Watching the live stream. You're amazing. All of you." I address the room one final time. This ceremony is over, but the truth, that's just beginning. As the agents lead Dustin away, my mother approaches me. "Sadie, please, save it." I step back. Some betrayals can't be forgiven, but they can be learned from. Clara hasn't moved from the altar, her perfect dress now wrinkled, her makeup streaked with tears. "What happens now?" she asks. "Now?" I look around at the chaos we've created, at the black roses standing witness. Now you do what I did. You rebuild. You find out who you are without all the lies. Will London ever forgive me? That's up to her. But she's strong, Clara. Stronger than we ever were at her age. She'll be okay. Marco joins us, looking both exhausted and relieved. The agents want statements from everyone. Then let's give them what they need. I straighten my shoulders. Time to tell the whole truth. As guests file out, many stopping to speak with reporters, I send one final text to London. It's done. Your composition was perfect. She replies immediately. Think Mum will ever understand why I had to leave? Yes, I type back, because sometimes the bravest thing we can do is walk away from a beautiful lie. I look at Clara, still standing in her wedding dress among the black roses, and feel something unexpected. Not satisfaction or revenge, but peace. Sometimes karma doesn't just come to collect. Sometimes she comes to set us all free. The fashion show lights dim as London takes her final bow. Her collection, black roses and broken vows, just brought Paris Fashion Week to its feet. I watch from backstage, pride squeezing my chest. She did it, Brinley whispers beside me. She actually did it. Was there ever any doubt? None. Clara's voice makes us both turn. She stands awkwardly in her simple black dress, clutching a bouquet of, what else, black roses. Is it okay that I came? Before I can answer, London appears. She stops short at the sight of her mother. You came. Front row. Clara holds out the flowers. Your designs, they're extraordinary. Thanks. London takes the roses. Dad here too? Outside. He wasn't sure. Clara swallows. We didn't want to overwhelm you. I start to step away, but London grabs my hand. Stay, please. The dress you closed with, Clara says softly. The white one with the black lace overlay. That was about Aunt Sadie's wedding, wasn't it? The whole collection was about our family. London strokes a rose petal. About lies and truth, darkness and light. About finding beauty in broken things. Like us? Clara's voice cracks. Maybe. London meets her eyes. I'm not angry anymore, just cautious. That's fair. Clara glances at me. More than fair, considering. A commotion at the door draws our attention. Marco enters, followed by reporters shouting questions about Dustin's sentencing. Not today, he says firmly. Today is about my daughter's triumph, nothing else. The reporters persist until security escorts them out. Marco approaches slowly, like he's afraid London might disappear. You are magnificent, he says simply. London hugs him, quick but real. Thanks, Dad. Your grandfather asked to see your show, Marco adds. From prison. I told him no. Good. London's voice is firm. Some people don't deserve second chances. I think of my mother, who chose social status over her daughter's happiness. She wasn't at the show either. But some people do, London continues, looking at her parents. If they're willing to earn them. Clara wipes her eyes. We'd like to try. Maybe dinner, tomorrow. I'd like that. London turns to me. You'll come too. Actually, I pull out an envelope. I have something else planned. Open it. Inside is a contract. Not the destroying kind, but the building kind. A partnership. London's eyes widen as she reads. You want me to design wedding dresses for your company? Not want, need. I smile. Your talent is exactly what we're missing. Plus, Brinley's tired of being the only one who calls me out on my dramatic tendencies. Hey, Brinley protests, laughing. Speaking of dramatic tendencies, Clara says, I saw your latest wedding. The one with the butterfly release. Beautiful. Thanks. The compliment feels genuine, making it harder to hold on to old anger. London's design would have made it perfect. Then it's settled. London signs the contract with flourish. Partners. Marco clears his throat. Does this mean you're staying in Paris? For now. London hands me back the contract. But I'll visit. Both of you. We can try again. Slowly. Slowly is good, Clara nods. We have a lot to make up for. You do, I agree. But at least now you're being honest about it. Security returns to announce the after-party is starting. London looks at her parents. Come to the party. Just for a little while. They agree, following her out. I stay behind, touching one of the black roses Clara brought. You okay? Brinley asks. Better than okay. I tuck the contract into my bag. Remember what you said when I first went home? About karma coming to roost? Yeah? I think it did, just not the way we expected. Instead of destroying everything, it rebuilt things. Different, but maybe stronger. Like those roses London uses. Beautiful because of their uniqueness, not in spite of it. My phone buzzes. A message from Clara. Thank you, not for forgiving us, but for showing London how to be strong. I show Brinley the text. Think they'll make it. The new them? Maybe, they're trying. That's something. Music drifts in from the party, London's composition, but transformed. The dark melody now carries notes of hope, of possibility. Coming. London appears in the doorway. They're about to toast the new partnership. I look at her, confident, talented, free, and see everything I fought for. Not revenge, but redemption. Not destruction, but growth. Right behind you, partner. We join the celebration, surrounded by black roses and bright lights, broken vows transformed into new promises. Sometimes karma doesn't just settle scores. Sometimes she opens doors to better futures. And sometimes those futures are more beautiful than any revenge could ever be.